Hi guys, welcome to my channel Coding Shinobi. Today we'll see Java coding interview questions. Guys, we will be discussing only the optimized solutions and not the brute force. And also we'll discuss the logic here and then we code it and run the program so that you can see the output and the working code as well. Okay, let's begin with the first question. Count the digits present in a number. You are given an input like 5, 6, 4, 7. How many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you have given 1, 5, 8, 2, 3. How many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The output should be 5 for this input. What is the output of this number if you try to divide it by 10? 5, 6, 4, 7 when divided by 10. In Java, it is known as integer division, which will return the value as 564. So what if we keep on dividing this value till we get 0? So something like this, like I'm dividing 564 again, which will give 56. 556 again, which will give me 5, and 5 divided by 10 is equal to 0. We are just reducing the number by tens place now, and your count will be 4. So we can do this while your number is greater than 0. We will keep on dividing this number by 10 and we will just increment the count and thus return the count. This is how the interviewers expect you to solve this problem when asked. Now let's code this. I'll just run the code for you so that you have a working code in front of you. This is the code that I have written for you guys. Now we have this number 5647 and I have this function count digit which will count the digits of 5s of this given number. Now guys, remember, like in the notes by mistake I have written while number is greater than 10, but it should be greater than 0. We are dividing this number by 10 until our number reaches to 0. As soon as it reaches to 0, our while loop will exit and will return the count. We'll run this program and it should return as 4. Put as 4. Let's try another number. The output should be 3. The count of digits in 1, 2, 3 is 3. Now the second question is, write a Java program to calculate sum of digits in a given number. Now you have given a number, for example, again 5647. So 5 plus 6 plus 4 plus 7, it's 22. This is very similar to the previous question, guys. While we were divided a number, we were just maintaining a count. Here what we can do is replace this statement to calculate the sum. But also we need the value of a digit, right? How we can get the value of this digit? If we do modulo operator, if we use a modulo operator with 10, what it will return? It will return the remainder. When 5647 is divided by 10 and we get 564 as quotient, then your remainder is 7. What if we keep on getting this remainder? We'll divide the number by 10 and then we'll keep on getting the remainder and add it into the sum. While your number is greater than 0, what I'll do is sum plus what my number is, number mod 10, and then I'll decrement this number. We have to get out of this value and we need the other digits as well, right? So we will divide this number by 10, written sum. Let's code this and run this now. This program calculates the sum of digits in a given number. So I have this number 5647. I have this function sum of digits which will calculate the sum. I have this variable sum and I am going to add the remainder of this new number as discussed, and then in the end I'll return the sum. Now let's run this program and let's see what is the output of this program. The sum of digits 5647 is 22. I'll take this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sum should be 15. The sum of digits in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 15. Now next question is, check whether two strings are anagram or not. Two strings are said to be anagram when the characters in the first string is equal to the characters in the second string. Like there is A in the string, we have A in the string. B we have B in the string, C is matched to C and D is matched to D. So whatever frequency of every character in A is equal to the frequency of every character in B. Now if you consider this example, we have pen in E and Ned in B. We don't have P in B and D in A, so your output is false. First things first, how to calculate frequency of every element. Now guys, the ASCII value of A is 97, B is 98. In computer world, A is represented as 97, B is represented as 98, till Z, which is represented as 122. We are going to take advantage of this series and use these values to store the frequencies of elements. Something like this. How many alphabets are there in English dictionary? 26. I'm going to have frequency array of size 26, which will maintain the count of every alphabet that we get in the string. Whenever we writing this statement, what we are doing is internally the compiler will convert this value to 97 and then subtract it from the 97, which will give you the index as 0. So we are going to store the values in a frequency array, something like this. Like at 0th index, I am having the frequency of A. At first index, I am going to have frequency of B. Till 25 will hold the frequency of alphabet Z. Let's calculate the frequency of string A. For your understanding purpose, I have taken str1 as ABCD and str2 as DACB. Now let's count the frequency of every alphabet that we have in str1. We will first calculate the index, which turns out to be str1.0 in the beginning, A. ASCII value of A is 97 minus 97, which is 0. And what I'll do, I'll increment the frequency of particular index. Now the index is 0, which makes the frequency of A to increment to 1. Similarly, we'll do for B. Increment the frequency of C and T. Now I have the second for loop, which will iterate on this string str2 and decrement the count if that alphabet is found. Right now the first character is T. The ASCII value of T is 100 minus 97, which turns out to be 2. Our index is 3. I have this frequency array and the value at index 3 is 1. So I'm going to decrement this index frequency now. Now the second character is A. I'll decrement the frequency of A stored at index 0 to 0. I'll decrement the value to 0. Similarly for C and B. You can see if both the strings are anagrams, in the end every frequency of the character will be 0. If your strings are not anagram, then your frequency value can have either positive or negative values and not 0. So what we are going to do, we're going to iterate on this frequency array and check if there is any index which does not have 0 as the value. I have this for loop which will iterate into frequency array. Since it is of size 26, I have already written the size of it. If my frequency at any index is not equal to 0, then I am going to return false then and there. If condition is never true, guys, then of course your every element is 0 in the array, right? And when it comes out of this for loop, I'm just going to return true because the if condition was never executed, which means I already have all the values of array to 0. What is the time complexity of this? Now, for example, str1 is of length m, str2 is of length n. So I have this for loop which will run for m, which will run for n time. The time complexity will be of n. Now guys, you can do optimizations such as if my length of str1 and str2 is not same, then of course they are not going to be anagrams. If the lengths are not equal, we can return false then and there only, right? Which means your m is equal to n in order a string to be a anagram. So your complexity can either be big of m or big of n, because the string should be equal. Let's code this and run so you have a clear visualistic idea then how this program will work. Now for this anagram program, I have these two strings str1 and str2, and have this function is anagram which will check, which will return true if the two strings are anagram, and it will return false if the two strings are not anagrams. We had checking if the length of the string is not equal, will return false. I have this frequency array. This for loop will calculate the frequency of all characters in str1. If the character is found, then we will decrement the frequency. And as discussed, if the frequency is not equal to 0, we'll return false, or we will return true. Let's run this program. These two strings are anagram. Let's check for some other strings. The given strings are not anagram. Or like when even the length of string is same, we're getting given strings are not anagram. So guys, next question is generate nth Fibonacci number. What is a Fibonacci series? The series look like this. Your Fibonacci series starts from 0. Your second element is 1, and the next element is decided by having the sum of these two elements. Like 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, and so on. Now what they are expecting is, they have given a number like n is equal to 4, and we have to return what will be the value in a Fibonacci series at the 4th position. When the input is n is equal to 4, your output should be 2. When n is equal to 8, your output should be 13. So guys, whenever we are going to generate a Fibonacci series, all we know is like this first two elements. We know where our Fibonacci is going to start. My first element will be 0 and my second element will be 1. And this, depending on these two elements, my entire Fibonacci series depends, right? Like a third element is generated based on these first two elements. So we are going to take this first element and second element and store the values in the variables. If my n is equal to 1, we know if my n is equal to 1, then I have to return first, and if my n is equal to 2, then I have to return 1. So these are the edge cases that we have to take care of. Now since 3, I am starting from 3 because I am going to generate my Fibonacci series from third element till the nth element. For that, like, I have to calculate the next element, and how the next element will be calculated based on this first and second. So my next element will be something like the 0 plus 1, 1, right? That's what I'm doing here. I'm calculating the next element using first and second, and afterwards this will be my first, right? And this will be my second. Initially my first is 0, second is 1, and my next comes out to be 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. Now my first becomes 1 and my second becomes 1. In the next iteration, next will become first plus second which is equal to 2, and my first will become, I'll assign the value of second to first, which is 1, and I'll assign the value of next to this, which is 2. And the next iteration we will calculate next using first and second, which is equal to 3. We will keep on doing this until we get the value of n. Now let's just dry run this. We'll complete this until the value of n is equal to 5. Initially we started with I is equal to 3. When I was 3, our next value became 1. When I was 4, our next value became 2. And when our I was 5, our next value became 3. So fifth element in our Fibonacci series is 3, and we'll stop this loop, and after exiting this loop we will just return the next value that we got when our for loop ended. And the time complexity is of course n, because only we are running this loop for n times. And space complexity is big of 1 because we are not using anything other than only 2 variables. The variables count as big of 1 space only. Only 2 extra variables are used here. Let's code this. I have this Fibonacci program. I have this function generate Fibonacci, which will generate the Fibonacci for our nth number. I have this first and second variable, and here is the logic of calculating the Fibonacci as discussed earlier. Okay guys, so my n is 8. Let's see what is the output of this program. N is 8 and Fibonacci number is 13. Let's check for 5, which came out to be 3. It should be 3. Then Fibonacci number is 3. Okay, the next question is, check if a string has all unique characters or not. I have given this input hello, but here L is repeated, so this string does not have all the unique characters, so we will return false. If we consider this example pen, we have all the unique characters and we will return it as true. One solution that comes to my mind is we will add all these characters into an hash set and we will check the size of hash set is equal to this length of string or not. For example, I have this hash set and when I put this str into my hash set, what all characters will be there? H, E, L, O. What is the size of this hash set? Which is equal to 4. What is the length of my string? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 4 is not equal to 5. So they return false. Similarly for pen, my hash set will have P, E, N. Size of my hash set comes out to be 3. What is the length of my string? Which is equal to 3. So return true from here. I have the set of characters. I'm iterating through this string, converting it to the character array and then adding it to the set, and in the end I'll check if the size of the set is equal to length of the string. If it is same, then return true. If it is not, then return false. For this unique characters program, I have the string str1 as hello and this function which will check if the given string has unique characters or not. So we have this set, and then for every character from this str we need to convert it to character array. Then I'm going to add it to my set, and then in the end I'm returning if my length of string is equal to character size. Let's run this program. It should return false and given string does not have all unique characters. If my string is unique, then it should print this, and else it should print this. For pen, the output should be given string has all unique characters. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you got to learn something, and all the best for your interviews guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.